Final problem solving task of the year, and a tricky one to finish on. So we've got 36 people living in these 8 houses, and we're told each house has a different number that's going to be useful living in it, and each line of 3 houses has 15 people. So this row of 3 will add up to 15, this row will add up to 15, this column will add up to 15, so will this column. But crucially, there are 36 people in total. So the first thing I'm going to do actually is I'm just going to draw a slightly more abstract version of this problem, because actually I'm finding all the houses and trees and stuff a little bit distracting. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes, and the total of these boxes is going to be 36. And then I've got a row of 15, a row of 15, and 2 columns of 15 as well. So these 3, these 3, these 3, these 3 will all add up to 15. The first thing I probably need to do then is I need to work out, well, what 8 numbers add up to make 36? And I could do a bit of trial and error, but as a mathematician, I'm always want to start somewhere. And so I thought I'd start just by testing, well, what happens if I add up 1, add 2, add 3, add 4, so the first 8 numbers. If I add these up, let's see what happens. I get 1 and 2 is 3, 6, 10, 15, 21, 28, 36. Oh, it does add up to 36. So now I've got my numbers of people. This problem then requires a bit of trial and error, just testing things out, a bit like if you're doing a Sudoku or something. If I put this here, what does that mean for something else? The way I'm going to start though is I'm going to say, well, look, my largest numbers, 8 and 7, for instance, add up to make 15. So they definitely can't be in the same row. So I'm going to start by putting 8 in a corner so it can sort of support this row and this column and this row. Now I'm going to put 7 opposite it. So 7 now is going to support this column, this row, and this column. So they're putting my largest numbers in places where they can almost be most useful. So now the question is, how am I going to get from 8 to 15? So I've got another 7 to add. So I could do 5 and 2, or I could do 6 and 1. I'm going to try 6 just because I want 6 again to be in this corner square so it can contribute to both rows, because actually getting up to 15 when I'm using the smaller numbers is quite challenging. So if I add 6 and 8, I get 14. So then I need another 1 to make 15. So now I've got a blank square here I can fill in, because 6 add 7 makes 13. So that must mean that this is 2. And now I've got 3, 4, and 5 left to add up. Well, if I add 8 and 5, for instance, if I take that next biggest one, because you might think I want to put it in this corner square, well, 8 and 5 is 13, which would mean that this one would have to be 2. And actually, look, I've already used 2, so 5 can't go in this row. It's actually a little bit like Sudoku. So I'm going to have to put 5 here. Now, does this work? Because then I've got 5 and 7 is 12. So yes, I can add 3. And if I'm lucky, 3 and 8, 11, add the 4. There we go. Gives me 15. And all of these numbers we know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, add up to make the number 36. So there you have it. Bit of trial and error, a bit of playing around, bit of sort of thinking a bit strategically about putting these larger numbers in the corner squares so that they can contribute to 2 rows of numbers. And we've ended up in the right place. So if you completed that, well done. It's a really challenging task, that, and I hope you have a wonderful summer holiday.